that should be recording. Right, so thanks for coming along tonight. It's going to be 3 updates. So the first one will be from myself, just with sort of general club matters. The second one will be from Sean, which is just update on coaching and things that are happening this autumn. And then the last one will be from Alistair Young, and that'll be just some info about the Pleiades trip that we're organising next year. And at each point, there's the opportunity to ask any questions that you like. So after I've finished, you can ask me stuff, then Sean, then Alistair. Any point, if you want to drop off the call, feel free. You don't have to stay for all of it if you're not interested in it. And if you've got any urgent phone calls or anything to take, just take them, it's fine. If you've got any questions, you want to shout them out at any point, just shout them out. I don't mind. You don't have to wait till the end. Just give me a shout and I'll try and answer them. I'm going to share my screen to start with, because I'm just going to do mine just by going through the website. So wait a second, I'll find the share button. Sure. Right, can you see the website there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the first point is just the website really is the point in which you can find out all the information about everything that's going on in the club. So it is kept up to date, and you'll see at the bottom tends to have the latest news and everything that's happening. So even if you don't use Facebook, then you can come here and find out all the information about what we're up to. It's also posted on Facebook, and it's also posted on the Facebook page as well. So you should be able to find out any of those sort of 3 points. The first thing we've got is if you're looking for membership, we've got the Join Us section. Now, membership for next year will be launched hopefully this week. What we're looking at is launching it at the same price as this year up until January. That way that if you decide to sign up for new membership, you'll get whatever is 13 months for the same price as this year. From January, price might increase slightly, but that's with the treasurer at the moment, and he's just having a look at all the figures just to see what it might be. So I would recommend that if you're going to sign up for membership, do it before the 1st of January, and you're guaranteed you're going to get this year's price. It's straightforward enough to sign up for the membership. If you look here, at the moment, it's got a GTC Adult Membership 2022. This will be replaced, that'll just be removed, and there'll be a GTC Adult Membership 2023. You just have to sign into your account. Do that. Sign in. You just have to sign into your account, go in and then select Join Now against the membership. They'll just add it against your account. It's quite a straightforward process. The juniors have already switched theirs to the system. So they've got their 2023 memberships. They've tested it, worked out fine for them, didn't have any problems at all. So hopefully it'll be the same for the adult section. The big advantage of doing everything through this system rather than our old way, which was Entry Central, is it's much easier to manage all of our membership accounts because everything's in one place. This year, because we just introduced this, we actually had to transfer all the stuff from Entry Central into the system, and it means it gets a bit confusing. We're sometimes not 100% sure who's actually a member and who's not a member, and there's a lot of manual processing that goes on in the background to make sure that everything ticks over and works properly. So this will make that life a whole lot easier next year if everyone's using this. Next bit we've got in the booking section, nothing much to be changing here. It's just the same as it has been all year. You just go in here and make your bookings. Only thing to note, we actually get quite a few people asking how to use the booking section and how to find courses. So this might seem a little bit obvious, but just for people who might not know, the easiest way to find stuff is just to go in and just use these drop downs, especially just choose adult.
Now is, does the trust administration have the ability to push those harder, truly growth boosting things? I'm skeptical.
Of more analysis of Monday's U-turn. Here's our.
There you go, I found it. Yeah, we do actually get a lot of people who sign up for the junior courses through this as an adult because they make a mistake when doing the booking. So if you go in, just select adult, it'll show you all the adult courses. The courses are released 2 weeks in advance. It's just an automatic system, so you can't, it just stops people from booking up too far ahead of time. It makes life a whole lot easier because previously we found in the old booking system, people would go in, they'd book like the next 8 weeks, and then they would go and cancel near the time. This way, when it's 2 weeks in advance, it makes it much easier for people to get into sessions and to just book for things that they actually want to do. Club events. So next year we've got Bishop Briggs, and big reveal for next year. Date will be Sunday, the 23rd of April. So that's a provisional date, but we're just sort of finalising it, making sure everything's okay. Should be finalised very shortly, and then we'll put it up on the website and have everything confirmed. Bishop Briggs is the sort of main event for the Triathlon Club, and we do encourage all members to volunteer at it and to help out and help us run it. We can't run the event unless people do volunteer. We're looking for a race coordinator to help out with that, or a sort of volunteer coordinator. So if you would like to help out, then if you can drop an email to myself or to Sean, then we'll put you in touch. It's quite a straightforward role. It's basically just rolling people into helping out in the day. If you are looking to do the race, then we sort of ask if you could find someone else to volunteer in your place. Then that's a nice thing to do. Or if you do the race and then you volunteer afterwards, then that really does help, even if it's just a few hours. It just means that the people who are volunteering all day can have a chance to have a break and to be able to do stuff. We would ask as well, once the race is released, if you could share it out and just make sure that people are aware that it's on. It really does help just to get advertising and get sign-ups onto it as early as possible. So put a note in your diaries for Sunday, 23rd of April for that one. Kirky Aquathon, that'll be running again next year. That's just the junior events. So I don't have the details for that yet, but we'll have a look into it. Benmore, there's a training camp which is on November the 4th and 5th, I think it is. That's, Alistair, are you one of the coaches for that?
I am.
Yeah.
With Paul Glenn and John Lund and Craig, hopefully.
And Craig. Yeah. I think there's only a couple of places remaining for that. So if anyone's interested, if you just go onto the website, it will give you the full details about it. I believe you get lots and lots of food. Is that the selling point, isn't it?
You do.
A very well fed event.
As much cake as you can eat, which is a
there's coach swims, there's runs, there's bikes, and you're able to get the feedback from it from previous years has always been excellent. So I would have a look at it on the website, and if you are interested, then the sign-up links are just down here. Get it. Christmas party. Christmas party is going to be on December the 10th. The aim for the Christmas party is to keep the cost as low as possible for members. So that's currently with the treasurer, and he's just going to come up with a figure for the pricing. We're hoping to get that out. If it's not this week, it'll probably be next week. But again, it's just, we haven't had a social event for the club since 2019. And we would like to have as many people as possible attend, and the best way to do that is to make it as affordable as possible for members. So it will be in the Tradeston Ex-Servicemen's Club, which is next to Bellahouston Park. It's a really nice venue. You can park right at the venue if you're not drinking. It's nice and easy to get to. It's plenty of room downstairs. We've hired a Ceilidh band. We're going to have food. It should be a good night. So it'll be announced hopefully this week or next week, and booking will then be available. Playitis, Alistair will talk about it separately at the end. But again, if you're looking for information about Playitis, everything you need here, details the event, the flights that we're taking, how to book the flights, and some details about the accommodation. Alistair will tell you a little bit about what actually goes on for the coaching side of things. Youth section, it's just a reminder, we do have a youth section. We're trying to promote it a bit more than previously. Again, it's just a reminder to people that it does exist. It sometimes does seem a little bit separate, but it's a very sort of popular and has a great new coach. And is it Alan Caldwell? Is that his name? Sean, yeah. He's got a great new coach there. Great feedback. A lot of the kids are saying how great he is and how great he is with them. So if anyone is interested in the youth section, or they've got friends or family who might be interested, then there is an email address they can contact, and Nick in the club will be happy to talk to them. The last bit I'm just going to go through is just the last section. Everything you need to know about the club is listed in the club section. You can find out who's on the committee. The committee is myself, who's the club president, but then we've also got secretaries, Christina Cox, who's also vice president of the club, treasurer, head coach, Fiona's in charge of membership, link to the welfare officer, communication. Yeah, if you need to contact anyone, then there's normally a dedicated email address for people. We do like getting feedback, so if you have questions or suggestions for us, then please do get in touch. It is very helpful to find out what's going on, because we can't attend every training session and we can't attend every event, so it's nice to hear like how they went and what happened. And the last section, there is a list of all of our policies. So if you need to find out anything about how the club's run, then you'll find them here. And we also have a discount section where we do have deals with some companies. So for example, we've just launched one with Active Route, which allows you to get a discount on your first order. We've got Asgard SS, which does cycle storage, and you get quite a good discount with them. The only thing I would say about them is I ordered stuff from them and I ordered it in July and I'm not getting it till November. So you get a good discount, but they're not the quickest company in the world. And we've just launched another one with Orca swimsuits as well. So the advantage of that one is that actually gives money back to the club. So you get a discount for yourself and you raise a little bit of money for the club. So that's a nice thing to do. And lastly, we do members, businesses and services. So if you've got a business or you've got anything that you run, then we're quite happy to stick that up on the website and let other members know about it. You just have to drop an email to myself or to Christina, and then we'll just add it to the website. Cool. I think that's all I've got to say. Has anyone got any questions for myself before I move on to Sean? No. Let's check. Nah, all looks okay. Cool, perfect. Sean, do you want to just go over a little bit about what's happening in the coaching this autumn?
Yes, so I have prepared nothing, but let's crack on anyway. So we are in, if you didn't know it, the new training season, which started first week in October. So we're kind of in sort of winter mode, we might call it, but we're probably at the moment in pre-season winter mode, which is slightly different, I suppose, from the latter part of the winter. But basically, we're trying to do stuff which keeps you fit, but in full knowledge that actually you're not going to probably be racing till about April. So if we get you super duper fit now and you're flying at Christmas, it's not going to go so well in June, you know. So we're doing the preparatory stuff. So this week we've kind of launched a couple of things. So we've got beginners swimming as a block for people, not you guys probably, but people you might know who can come along, take part in the swim course as we've sold it for 8 weeks. And starting next week for you guys, we've got swim school, which I've kind of sold as, if you swim like a triathlete, you may well be a very fast triathlete swimmer. You still don't swim exactly the way you would if you learned to swim when you were 7 or 8 in a swim club. So we've kind of launched swim school. So it's an 8-week course to sort of teach us the skills that we didn't get because we didn't join a swim club. Apologies if you did. Ideally, we'll all get better at swimming at that, and it'll be a bit of fun as well. So that's very much there for a Sunday night, 7 o'clock. You can book in. I think as of before I come on, there's 2 places left. Sadly, we can't put any more on because we have to let other people in the pool as well. So that's sort of started this week. Last week we went back and we started doing spin. So we used to do spin previous kind of maybe 5 years at the Cali Uni. So we're now at Strathclyde Uni, which I have to say, as an ex-alumni of both institutions, the Strathclyde experience is much better. So it's the best pool when we swim in there. This is probably the best spin studio in Glasgow. So it's got a great sound system, big kind of screen to watch like scenic cycling things on it as well. And staff are really friendly as well. So we're there on a Wednesday night. So it's just a kind of triathlon focused swim class, which I sort of describe usually as like a normal spin class, except slightly harder and more specific to triathlon. No press ups, no kind of silly quirky things that you probably like but dancing on one pedal. So it's kind of specific to the sport of triathlon. And again, it changes as to where we keep doing that until the clocks go forward, and it kind of changes as we get past Christmas. It gets a bit more race specific. So those are kind of the main session differences because we've started the new season. Going forward, we're hoping every weekend to have sort of a bike ride, either on a Saturday or Sunday. So not a coach session and not always maybe on the road. So I think I was going to last week, go out and just south side do a gravel ride. And I can invite people to come along, but the weather looked a bit iffy, so I just cancelled it. But I actually rode on my own. So apart from one river crossing, it was quite a good route and mostly off-road, but you would need a gravel bike to do that. So I think over the sort of up to Christmas, what I'm planning doing is going out at least the Saturday or Sunday and doing something, whether it's a road bike, a gravel bike, a mountain bike, or something like that, but not coached. Just more of a social adventure type thing, just to kind of keep us all going till Christmas. We've got a couple of coaches coming on board. We've got 3 people doing coaching qualifications just now. So we've got Mary Lawson, we've got Gillian Fraser, and we've got Jonathan Campbell, who you may know from doing all the Zwift stuff. So they've just started their qualifications and hopefully they'll come and join the coaching team. We've also got Dom James, who's a very experienced coach who's done some coaching with Glasgow University Tri Club and Fusion. And he came along last Tuesday and did the swim session that I was at, and it was excellent. It was quite fast, I think. He was pushing us quite hard, a wee bit harder than maybe we used to being pushed. But it was excellent. It was good fun. So I think sort of what I would ask you people here to do, because I think I know all of you, not quite sure who Mr. or Mrs. iPad is, but if you've got any sort of things that you think we should be doing but we're not doing, so like sessions that we should be doing, or a focus that we should be doing at a session, it's always, as Ian said, it's always good to get feedback. So if you think we're not doing enough of, fill in the blank, then let us know. We have tried in the past lots of different things. So we did strength conditioning on a Friday morning, which pre-COVID was pretty busy. Post-COVID wasn't so busy, so we stopped doing that. But we could, if there was demand, have an in-person strength conditioning class, if that's what people think that we need to be doing. At the moment, we've got quite a few swim sessions. I think it's 6 or 7. Got 2 runs, and we've got 1 formal bike session and informal riding at the weekend. So we can add to that if we think it's going to be something that's meeting a demand from members. Ideally, Ian's going to start his rugged runs again. Hopefully he's going to nod his head here. We're going to do rugged runs, so there you go. So quite a lot of excitement then when you can go and do a rugged run somewhere rugged. In terms of my top tips for probably doing stuff for this kind of the year, if you don't have, I'd buy a pair of trail shoes and I would go and run off-road, whether it's at a rugged run or not, and do all my long runs, off-road and just get, out into the nature. That always helps. And just save the road for your faster runs at our run sessions, hopefully. So if you want to help the club, one good way of doing it is come to a run session, because we don't pay a hire fee in a run session. So all your £2.75 or £3 or whatever it is goes to the club beyond paying the coach. So we get a much better return on those kind of things than we do from a pool-based session. Same with the rugged run, because Ian, our lovely president, doesn't charge for doing that. So if you pay £3 for your rugged run, for all the in-depth knowledge you get on the course and the environment you're in, that all goes to the club as well. So that's a good reason for going along, and you can bring people that aren't club members as well. So I think that's probably my update. I would say that's what we're intending to do between now and Christmas. Any questions? Gratefully accepted.
That's great. You've answered all their questions in your update. Yeah, I'll probably just reiterate, what we really do enjoy is getting feedback. So if you're a member of another club, maybe you're a member of a cycling club or a running club, and there's some great session that they do that we don't do, please let us know and we'll have a look into it. we're always willing to hear ideas, and there's always opportunity to try out new things. So just let us know anytime. You can email Sean at the head coach at Glasgow Triathlon Club, or you can, as I said, email myself or Christine, and we'll be able to have a look into it. Just to reiterate as well, Strathclyde University Gym is an excellent facility, and it's probably one of the best that we've got. It's also where my office overlooks. So one day when I was looking out the window, I saw the whole of Strathclyde pool empty out into the street. If you want to know what a whole swimming pool looks like emptied out of the street, it's quite an impressive sight. And it was done by a builder with a hammer, who put the hammer through the main pipe into the pool. So if you imagine you have a bad day at work, just imagine putting a hammer in a pool and emptying it in one go. Alistair, just to finish off, do you want to discuss a little bit about Pleiatus and just go over sort of what people can expect? Craig, if you feel like adding anything to this point, then please do.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, I will. I promise I'll keep this brief. I'm going to assume, for the most part, that I know some of you have been before, but that most of you haven't. Pleiatus is fundamentally a winter training camp in Fuerteventura, Canary Islands, and it takes place. And I should know this. Is it March? Yes, March. Yes. Yeah. And it's a week's worth of mostly cycling, swimming every morning, but in a warm environment that's not Glasgow. So it's an escape from, as you look outside, the long dark that we're about to head into. And it's probably the best way to kickstart the training that you would maybe be looking to do if you've got something planned next year. It's a great opportunity to spend time with your club mates, like-minded exercise enthusiasts. We run a fairly structured program. We like to offer a lot of opportunities to do stuff, but we don't make you do anything. It's entirely optional. The timetable is not absolutely fixed yet, but very roughly we start the day with a swim, and then we would probably then head out on the bikes. If you haven't been to Fuerteventura or cycled in any of the islands before, the roads are extraordinary. They are. It makes you realize what you could have. They are a delight to cycle on. The locals are enthusiastic about cyclists generally, and it's very warm. Can be a little bit windy, a little bit. But you're cycling with people who you've kind of organized people into similar abilities. So nobody, again, much like the rides that we organize here, no one really gets left behind. And I think that it's just, I say, it's just a really great way to sort of meet folk from the club, share training experiences, and just build into the season. I don't think there's anything. Is there anything, Craig or Sean, that we could be adding to the structure or the nature of what we'll be doing? Please, the centre itself offers quite a lot. I'm not sure how much of that is part of the package. I believe you have to pay for individual sessions, but it is like a how would you describe it? Like a training venue. In fact, the last time we were out there, we shared the venue with the German Olympic swim team, who seemed quite competent, actually. Gents, anything else around the sort of timetable that we can offer up just now, or are we?
No. Oh,
Sorry.
and your son.
I'm not a big participant, but I think there's quite a lot of drinking goes on, and some volleyball as well. So I would partake in the volleyball.
Yeah.
What's the accommodation like?
Nice, actually, modern.
Yeah, be shared apartment, so 4 people to an apartment, which is 2 rooms of 2. So, and yeah, there's plenty of room for 4 people and 4 bikes, and a self-catering kitchen. So you have everything that you need within the apartment, or you can. There's the village of Pleiatus is nearby, which has got some restaurants.
The centre offers up like a buffet type. It's quite well done actually, and they do cater to sort of quite high standard. I should also add to the facilities as well. It's a 50 meter. It's an outdoor 50 meter pool, which is an absolute joy to swim in.
There's the village or the town of Grand Tara Hal's like 10-15 minutes away by taxi as well. So for eating and stuff like that, you can either cycle in there or you can get a taxi in the evenings to go for a meal. There's the running tracks over in Grand Tara Hal. There's loads of running trails round about as well. You can run on the road or out the cycle path to out towards the Grand Tara Hal or up towards the lighthouse, etc. as well. So there's loads of running opportunities, not just fantastic cycling opportunities. I think when we were there, we counted 3 or 4 potholes on the roads that we were on. It's very different to Scottish roads. And what else have we? I mean, what the Pleiades offer themselves is a variety of classes, stretching, yoga, and
a lot of strength and conditioning stuff. Yeah. They do a lot of.
There is
a recommendation whether to take a bike or not, because I know my own experience of the Canary Islands. I've taken a bike and I've hired a bike, and my sort of preference is always hiring a bike now because it saves so much bother. But
so there's 2 options for hiring a bike. There's the centre itself in Pleiades. It's all BMC bikes, BMC centre, so it's all good quality bikes that you get. And people have used Fuerteventura bike hire in the past to hire their bikes. So they'll come deliver the bike to you and pick it up once you're done with it. So there's those 2 options for hiring. There are probably more options. And then again, you can take your own bike as well, which personal preference. If you want to take your own bike, there is the hassle of dismantling it and putting it together again, but then you have your own bike. So it's there's maybe. I wouldn't have said there's much cost difference between the 2. There's probably slightly more expensive to hire the bike for the full period. If you were to hire it for the full week, then it's probably slightly more expensive. But if you hired it for 5 days, then it probably works out much the same.
Yeah, I was there earlier in the year, and I think I hired it for 5 days because it worked out the same as it would have if I'd stuck it on the plane and taken it across. But it just saved so much bother because I got a better bike and no hassle. So
the bike centre is fantastic there, and they will usually sort any issues or just give you a new bike if you have any issues. So
just on the social side as well, I should add that the cost does include a meal on the last day where we all gather and swap stories of the amazing things we've achieved during the week.
Yeah, I would just probably reiterate, I think the first thing I ever did with the club was actually go on a week-long training camp, and I didn't know a soul before I went, and it was very friendly and very welcoming, and a few years later I ended up being president. So yeah, go along, even if you don't know that many people or you're just new to the club, you'll be fine, you'll get on with people fine, and it's a great way to meet people. Does anyone got any questions or anything you'd like to ask?
See, there's a comment from Stuart.
Michael, I'll say, well, I see. Oh no, sorry. I thought it was a hands up. There's a comment.
Some of the additional sessions are covered in the cost. So like the likes of morning yoga and that, you just turn up in the square, and that's included in the cost of the package. And then there's so that's sunrise salutations, and then there's a stretch class at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is also included. I can't remember. You can use some of the gym, but I don't know if you can use all of the gym equipment. But you definitely get access to some of the gym. Like we used foam rollers and stuff in the past, so, in the mat area. But I've not seen the need to use the treadmill. I don't fancy the treadmill in that heat.
Does anyone else got any questions they'd like to ask? about anything tonight, you know, I can just play it. No.
Sorry, Ian.
Yeah.
I was just trying to unmute myself there. I was hitting hundreds of buttons. Apologies.
Go ahead.
No, I was kind of intrigued. I was picking up what you're talking about the Strathclyde pool. And I kind of booked into the pool session there. No, and I'm looking at the booking line just now for the Strathclyde swim block. And it says in brackets 29/9 until 17/10 brackets. But when you actually go into the booking itself, the booking on the timetable says from Thursday the 29th of September to Thursday the 17th of November.
I suspect that's my error there, Michael. So
Aye.
just keep going until we ask you for more money. That's
No, Sean, listen, I just thought I'd flag it up and let you see that was maybe a slight error there.
No. As you book in, so if you didn't book into at the beginning,
Aye.
the cost goes down each week. So
Aye.
so it's 8 sessions for 40 quid. So if you book in after 1 week, it only charges you 35.
Aye.
If you book in after 2 weeks, it only charges you 30. So the cost goes down as it goes on. But I had a bit of trouble doing the booking system, and Ian sorted it for me. So I will say any factual incorrect parts are probably down to me. So
no, it's not a criticism, Sean. I'm just picking up what Ian said when they said about the guys putting something through the main pipe. I thought the pool had emptied and maybe the pool had shut. You know what I mean?
No, it's fine. No, it's all been, yep.
Right.
I'll sort it out. It's one of the things when you do the booking system and you create new bookings, it copies and pastes data from the previous one that was created. So sometimes it copies across the wrong.
Aye, no, I appreciate these things happen. I'm just kind of flagging up just now. I don't know if it's the right point to add just now as well, and it's only a kind of comment just now because you've given me a chance to speak, and that's quite dangerous. We give me a chance to speak.
Take your opportunity.
No, listen, and it might already be there on the website just now, but I went down to Barcelona a few weeks ago, and I realised a few kind of colleagues from the club were actually going to Barcelona as well, and I only found that out when I was there. And I don't know, maybe if we have a kind of page or a post-it board or something, if there's events coming up.
What about if we had a thread on the Facebook page saying who's going to Barcelona?
I'm just thinking out loud, maybe the idea of different events that are coming up.
I'm just being cheeky, Michael. There was a thread in which your name was mentioned. So
Aye. No, and I probably picked it up, and that's my ignorance with technology.
Yeah. But
what I was meaning, Sean, if there was a front page kind of networking thing whereby if somebody's going to do something, they don't need to start going through different routes and different threads. Maybe there's something on the main page that says, I'm going to whatever. Do you know what I mean? It may well be it creates a chance for other kind of members to kind of hook up before actually going. I'm just thinking it.
I agree with you. I think the issue has always just been how we implement it in a way that is simple. I suspect the easiest way is to just have something once a week that goes out that just says, if you're racing next weekend, let people know what you're racing. And that way, if you do it too far in advance, people don't.
Michael, we are looking for someone to do a weekly newsletter. So that was one of the things that the committee were to ask someone to do a weekly newsletter.
Right.
So that would be an excellent thing to do, wouldn't it? To send it out, say who's racing this weekend, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. You can think about if you fancy doing that.
Right. And once I'm fully retired, I might take up full time.
Well, do you know what I mean? We can't wait for everyone to
retire
to do things.
I respect that, and I appreciate a lot of kind of guys are doing a lot of things from the coaching to different platforms and promoting things. So I know it's a busy club, and I'm not expecting or pointing fingers. I'm only throwing an idea at this point.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's just one of these ones that's a little bit tricky just to work out the exact way to do it. But I think if we agree that the Facebook group is probably the main way that people communicate, it's just really just getting that message out once a week to say who's racing and asking people to post up so they can make
to be fair, I think
arrangements.
Quite a lot of people do it, you know, and there certainly was one for Barcelona because certainly I tagged a couple of people that were in there, and I think someone tagged you in it or mentioned that you were doing it.
I think the main issue is just not everyone checks Facebook
Yeah,
every day.
you don't notice it every day.
Yeah,
you know,
and
so
threads
it's,
disappear. So it's getting into as many places as possible. So having it on the website, having it on an email, having it on Facebook and the rest. So
usually we have a wee thread at the beginning of the year saying who's doing what races.
Right.
And that's your chance to
Aye.
fire in there as well.
Well,
No,
we'll get the
but-
newsletter sorted out. Once we get the newsletter sorted out, I think that's the easiest way because people
Right.
tend to read the email when it comes through and see it. So
Aye.
that's, we're working on that one. We'll get it done.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. How's you gone in Barcelona?
Well, I ended up 12 hours. I done it 12 hours, 1 minute. And that was me losing a lot of time. I was doing a finish shoot the wrong side. I came out of running out of transition two without my belt. I had to run back in and get my belt. So a lot of kind of stupid novice mistakes that I really kind of punished myself on. But I was kind of happy. Mine was for 12 to 12 and a half, and I got 12 hours, 1 minute. But I think it was maybe realistically.
Yeah, well done.
I think 11:40 was probably the kind of doable target. Do you know what I mean? But there
Just
we
means
are.
you can go back next year and go a bit faster.
I booked up for it next year. So
Yeah. Once
that's
you're fully
my aim.
retired, then you can go for it. Has anyone else got any questions or anything they'd like to ask? I see there's a few threads there. Just Craig, just want to say just a little bit about bike hire then. I think we were talking about.
Yeah, Alistair's posted the link to the Players place, and that I've put a link in for Portventura bike hire that some of us have used before. The Portventura bike hire, if I think we had a group, we got a group discount because so many of us used it before, so it might be worth taking if there's enough folk interested in hiring bikes from them, they will give you quite a good discount, I think. So it's worth having a conversation with them.
Yeah, I think if we've got enough people, then they should hopefully offer a discount of some sort.
Yeah. I think it was Paul Gallagher maybe that had been in discussions with them in the past. I can't remember, but it's definitely something to ask for again if we can.
Yeah. Anyone got anything else like to add? No. Perfect. Okay. I'll just press stop record.